Malnutrition is a condition that occurs when a person's diet does not contain the right amount of nutrients. Plumpy'nut is a peanut-based paste that is used for treatment of severe acute malnutrition. An estimated 34 million children are affected by severe acute malnutrition, and 2.6 million children die every year because of hunger-related causes, and Plumpy'nut strives to prevent this.
Macromolecules are known as being the building blocks of life. They are defined as the large molecules that make up cells and carry out cellular functions. Macromolecules are separated into four groups, which are carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids.
Carbohydrates are used for an organism's main source of energy. The breakdown of sugars is what supplies the immediate energy for all cell activities. Plants and animals also use carbohydrates for structural purposes. Lipids are used to store energy and are important parts of biological membranes and waterproof coverings.
Protein is a macromolecule that is used to control reaction rates, regulate cell processes, form bones and muscles, and help fight diseases.
The fourth macromolecule is nucleic acids. Nucleic acids' role is to store and transmit hereditary or genetic information. Each macromolecule plays a role in the ingredients of Plumpy'nut. People who consume Plumpy'nut are able to obtain protein from the peanut butter paste that is in the recipe. Plumpy'nut provides lipids through the vegetable oil, and carbohydrates are provided through the powdered sugar.
However, there are some deficiencies that we found in Plumpy'nut's recipes. We found that the recipe contained too much sugar. An excess amount of sugar can have negative effects on a person's health. These negative effects include damaging of the heart and harmful effects on the brain.
Another deficiency of Plumpy'nut is that it doesn't contain enough protein. Protein plays a very important role in a person's body. Proteins are involved in nearly every process within your cells and tissues. If the food that a person intakes does not provide them with the essential amino acids, their body breaks down the protein-rich tissues in order to access them. This results in your body and immune system being weaker. This is why it's very important for the Plumpy'nut recipe to have ingredients that contain more protein in it.
The third deficiency we found was that none of the ingredients in Plumpy'nut were grown locally. This means that the ingredients have to be purchased internationally, which causes it to be very expensive. If the ingredients in Plumpy'nut were grown locally, ingredients would not have to be shipped as far, which would save a lot of money.
To help with these deficiencies, we took out powdered sugar and replaced it with dried fruit. We replaced peanuts with soybeans instead. We decided to add millet and teff to our recipe. Our final recipe contains soybean paste, milk powder, vegetable oil, dried fruits, millet, and teff. We decided to take out peanuts and replace them with soybeans because the recipe needed more protein, and soybeans contain much higher amounts of protein. It is beneficial to have this extra amount of protein because it will strengthen the bones and muscles of the people who consume our product.
Since the Plumpy'nut recipe contained too much sugar, we decided to take the sugar out. The sugar in the recipe is what provided carbohydrates. However, this excess amount of sugar can have negative effects on the body, so we decided to replace it with a healthier ingredient that has lower sugar but contained higher levels of carbohydrates, which is why we chose to use dried fruits instead.
We determined that the Plumpy'nut recipe needed more locally grown ingredients because it would cost less. We decided that adding millet and teff were beneficial to our recipe. Millet and teff are both grains that are grown in Africa, and they are both high in proteins. Teff can also be grown in a variety of places, including places where most other crops can't survive. Adding millet and teff will increase the amount of protein intake, which is essential for life functions. It will also be cheaper since they are locally grown and do not have to be imported as far. Our product is an improvement of Plumpy'nut and helps cure victims of malnutrition.